Hey guys, welcome back to another vlog. I know I'm doing kind of like a fancier intro for a vlog, but I'm super excited because it's the first weekend of Halloweekend. This is a readathon that's going on all month long, and it's for the weekends. These are going to be from Thursday to Sunday. So you have like a 4-day window, you have your main prompts, and you have your bonus prompts. There is a lot of details with this, and I have actually already completed this first weekend and then realized I never even filmed my TBR or even my intro for this. So you guys are in for a ride this weekend. A lot of things happened. This is hosted by Lexi, but she also has additional co-hosts, which I'm going to throw up for you guys. I will throw up also the prompts, bonus prompts, all of those things. There's also like photo prompts for Instagram. I don't know if I'm going to participate in those as much, as I'll be sharing them here with you guys for my vlogs. But there's also activity prompts for your weekends to make them a little bit more spooky and Halloween. And then there's also events on their channels each week. So this week we're going to be doing some coloring with Kelsey over on her channel. But yeah, 5 weekends. This week was at the beginning or the end of September, the beginning of October. So there's gonna be 5 weekends of it, which is really exciting. And I'm excited to vlog each and every one of them for you guys and take you guys along with me on my weekends through the month of October till Halloween. So the only rule is you cannot do more than one of the main prompts per weekend. So let's say you do match a host thumbnail, which is one of the prompts. You can't read a book for that prompt and then jump into anticipated, which is another main prompt. That is why she's offering you the bonus prompts. So you could read one of the main prompts, and then you could, if you want to read another book, you can read a prompt for that. Pretty sure you could double up on the prompts as well, as long as it's not doubling up on one of the main prompts, if that makes sense. You guys can check out her introduction video and readathon video on it because she is a lot better at explaining it. Since I like to get carried away with readathons, I will be reading for the main prompts and the bonus prompts because it's only two books a weekend, if I can talk. And I have some really fun picks for it. Now, some of the weekends I'm going to be having another readathon same weekend. Thankfully, this one was not one of them, so it was a lot easier for me to tackle my reads for sure. But for this weekend, I decided to go with, for my main prompt, host fave subgenre, which I think it was supposed to be host fave trope. And I picked Kaylee's. One of hers was mixed media so that I could read Mr. Magic. And I don't have the book with me anymore because I did borrow it from my library, and it was literally due the same weekend of this readathon, so I literally had to take it back right after I read it. So I did read it first and completed it for the readathon. You guys are about to see my thoughts on that. But yeah, a little bit of a mixed media trope there. And for my bonus prompt, I went with something different and chose Dead Silence because although I've dabbled more into sci-fi with like sci-fi horror, which this is a sci-fi horror, it's still very new to me and still kind of different because this one is like a haunted house in space. So different than what I typically read. So yeah, I'm excited to share them with you guys, talk to you guys about them and my experience reading them, and give you guys my thoughts on them. You will also have to let me know if you're participating so I can come and check out your channel vlogs or whatever on this, or even your Instagram. I would love to come and see what you're reading and keep up with you guys there. I am still personally switching my TBR around a little bit for the upcoming weekends, and I may continue to do so. So I'm not going to share the rest of my TBR as of right now. Just the 2 that I'm reading this weekend, and it may stay that way throughout the weekends, which is really hard because this week I was wanting to post my TBR photo on Instagram. So I'm hoping by next weekend I'll have my TBR for all the weekends figured out so I can post that. But I did get an activity done, and that was to get a spooky book. And I just so happened to get the audiobook for Wonderland by Jennifer Hillier. And that is going to be one of my books, definitely, for this readathon because I just bought the audiobook. It was part of one of the book clubs I follow, and I've been wanting to read it for a long time, and I believe it is carnival and even like maybe like clown related, so I'm excited. But yeah, this is the start of it. I know this is a very wordy and very long intro, but it's just to have fun and to celebrate Halloween every single weekend. And they always do so many sprints, reading sprints, to like really keep you on your goal. And I love the extra events they're planning for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, I'm excited to take you guys along with me. And I will be starting with Mr. Magic by Kiersten White.
My September TBR. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Reading I didn't know Mr. Magic was mixed media.
Me neither.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
That's cool.
It's like a Mandela effect thing. So it cuts to like them remembering parts of the TV show or like stuff happening in the TV show.
That's cool.
And I think there is like a person with like a VHS or something like playing it. Or if I'm correct. Oh no, they couldn't find it. They can't find anything about it. It's really trippy.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you like Hyde or Mr. Magic more?
I like Mr. Magic more.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like the author's note at the end. I was like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
Like, made me think about things a little bit more.
Good morning, you guys. It is day 2 of the first weekend of Halloweekend, and this morning I have been watching Katrina's channel. She is doing sprints, and she's also reading, what is it called? Like the Vampires of El Norte. And the reason I'm saying it is because I actually have it checked out from my library right now. It was like this close to putting that on my Halloweekend TBR. So she's currently reading that and seems to be enjoying it. I am about halfway through Mr. Magic. Yesterday was just kind of a slow reading day, so I did not make it that far. But I have hopes to finish it today or maybe even in the morning. But right now I'm just kind of in here with a mess, and I'm trying to tidy up some things. It's really hard because I don't have an audiobook for this, and I'm trying to not cave and buy an audiobook and just physically read it, because it's just been a minute since I fully physically have read an entire book. With how busy things get, or I feel like I constantly have to be doing something, so I'm trying to like rest and just enjoy this read. If you didn't know, last year I read Hyde from Kiersten White, and very unpopular opinion, but I really enjoyed that book. It was a 5-star for me. I loved it so much, and I know that it just wasn't it for a lot of people. So going into this one, so far what I can say is that I'm not really like attaching myself to anyone very well. I think the whole concept and the whole idea of Mr. Magic is really cool. So it's definitely like, it's still like gripping me in a way that's keeping me reading, and I'm enjoying it. As of now, I don't think I could say I'm enjoying it as much as Hyde. I really just think it's personal preference though, because I actually feel like a lot more people are probably going to enjoy this one so far versus Hyde. But nonetheless, it's just such a weird, a weird format of the way that this one is like written, I guess, for me. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like you have these chapters, but then you have sections in chapters, and we're kind of getting like present day. We're getting like thrown back into when they were kids and on the show, which you guys know I love when we have flashbacks in books, and it's like flashbacks to when they're kids and then them present day. I love that in a book so much, especially like a horror or scary book. We have definitely met most of like our main characters at this point. We follow Valentine, who has kind of just, you know, living on this ranch with her father who has now passed, and her name is kind of put out there because of his like obituary and services, and people from the past are now finding her, and it's almost like an amnesia thing where she doesn't really remember that much from her childhood, from when she was on the show Mr. Magic. And so the other kids that were on the show with her are now kind of coming back into her life, and she's trying to like question them and like ask them like if they can help jog her memory in a way, or tell her like how things went down, how things happened, why the show ended, why is she getting the blame for things. And we're just kind of getting this like weird back and forth, I guess, with her, where people are just like not really being very forthcoming of like any type of truth. So it really leaves us, the readers, in the dark for most of the ride, which I am enjoying, but at the same time, I keep getting to certain parts where I'm just like, okay, like I need something to happen. I need, you know, like more things. But I can say she does follow through, because while they're staying at this like creepy house where apparently their parents used to stay at while they were on the show, they have to take turns going into the basement by themselves and doing like these podcast interviews where they are being introduced like as they were when they were kids, but now like as they are as adults, and how things have changed for them. And then just being asked like the strangest, oddest questions. It's very like uncomfy and unsettling, some of the things that like this like interviewer says to them. And it also is giving us the perspective of kind of seeing more about these characters that are evolving into the story, and like why they're so important to the story, how they're going to come into play in the end. I feel like we're getting a lot of character development with the interviews. But besides that, there's not much more that I can really say about this right now. I will check back in with you guys probably tomorrow, because I want to try to get as much reading as I can. I want to finish up with Katrina sprints, and then I believe she said Sav is going to have sprints tonight, so I will also be reading with those, hopefully wrapping this book up or getting pretty close. I'm hoping to make a little bit of a dent in here on the cleaning aspect and putting away some different boxes and packages and stuff I've gotten, and yeah, I'm hoping by tomorrow I can have my first book done so I can jump into my next book, but thankfully this weekend I just have the 2 books on my TBR, so it shouldn't be too much of a challenge. So please don't mind the mess that is behind me. Like I've mentioned, this room is like going through a process right now, if you will. And I have like my filming stuff like out, and I'm cleaning out my closet. I'm doing too many things all at once, and it's just making a huge mess, but I will get there eventually. But it is day 3, and I'm popping on. I am currently watching Kaylee sprints. She's sprinting for the Battleathon, but also Halloweekend. And I wanted to pop in because I finished Mr. Magic, and it was really good. I think I'm landing actually at a 5. It was not really what I was expecting, but I really enjoyed, I say this all the time, but I enjoyed the ride. It was definitely, like Katrina was saying, like a Mandela effect, and also like, I mean, I liked the sci-fi twist to it. And I was kind of the same way with Hyde. I feel like a lot of people didn't like the sci-fi twist to it, where I loved that. So I really appreciated having another sci-fi twist in another one of her books. And yeah, I think my only critique is I didn't really resonate very well with like any of the characters, but to an extent, I think it was okay, because my mind was just like, I don't know if it was just because it reminded me so much of Hyde, not story plot-wise at all, just character-wise, and although I did like the characters more in Hyde, but more so the writing style just kept reminding me of Hyde, that I was kind of just like not like checking out with the characters, not really caring, because I'm like, oh, they're gonna die. And then I started trying to remind myself, like, this isn't a survival horror like Hyde was. You have to kind of like these characters a little bit because you're following their story, and again, it's not like a survival horror. But it was very different, and I think the first like 25-50% of the book, I was kind of torn on it, and even just saying, like, I think I enjoyed the journey of Hyde a whole lot better versus this one, but I don't know if I could pick which one I like the best, wrapping up this one now too. It was really good. Really good. Great start of my first Halloweekend. I am now going to be jumping into Dead Silence, and I'm going to sprint for a little bit longer. I actually have the audiobook for this on Hoopla, so I'm going to listen while I work on this room some more, and yeah, that's about it. This afternoon, I'm going to go hang out with some friends for a little bit. We're going to have like some adult time, kid-free, which is going to be a first for us in a very long time, because usually we all just have our kids, and we always have a good time, but we have interruptions and everything else, that it's going to be like just really nice to just get together and hang out and be able to finish conversations. Is advertised as Titanic meets The Shining. It is a sci-fi horror. A woman and her crew board a decades-lost luxury cruiser and find the wreckage of a nightmare that hasn't yet ended. A ghost ship, a salvage crew, unspeakable horrors. Claire is days away from being unemployed, made obsolete, when her beacon repair crew picks up a strange distress signal. With nothing to lose and no desire to return to Earth, Claire and her team decide to investigate. What they find at the other end of the signal is a shock, the Aurora, a famous luxury space liner that vanished on its maiden tour of the solar system more than 20 years ago. I'm really excited. It's supposed to be like paranormal and haunted, like, spaceship. I'm excited. It is definitely my something different. I've never read anything like this. We'll see how it goes.
I'm feeling sick from all this automatic driving to your house. I'm gonna die in LA traffic, watch me crash my fucking car into your couch. Don't wanna finish up this episode before you cut me out. I'm still done cause I'm paying. You can never take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, but shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would've even stood a chance when your foot was on my dash. No, it only made me crash, I know I shoulda. And be your biggest fan, but shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would've even stood a chance, then I know I shouldn't ask, but I really want you bad now. I've been thinking about topics to talk about, to sort it out and make it right in life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance when your foot was on my dash. No, it only made me crash. I know I shoulda. And be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance. And I know I shouldn't ask, but I really want you back now. There would be an awkward silence, and between words I try to tie in a text and a call and a driving on top of it all. You were right, I was wrong, you were right. I'm still done cause I'm way. You can never take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance when your foot was on my dash. No, it only made me crash. I know I shoulda. And be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance. And I know I shouldn't ask, but I really want you back now. I've been thinking about topics to talk about, to sort it out and make it right in my head. Now that it's been longer, know that I was wrong for thinking that you always had a place in my. Is this what I had in mind?
25 million missed calls, my hands are shaking with drugs.
Guess that I found my pit. God, I hope you take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance when your foot was on my dash. No, it only made me crash. I know I shoulda. And be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance. And I know I shouldn't ask, but I really want you back now. There would be an awkward silence, and between words I try to tie in a text and a call and a driving on top of it all. You were right, I was wrong, you were right.
Because the day long, please don't walk cause the way down.
I'm still done cause I'm way. You can never take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance when your foot was on my dash. No, it only made me crash. I know I shoulda. And be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance. And I know I shouldn't ask, but I really want you back now. I've been thinking about topics to talk about, to sort it out and make it right in my head. Now that it's been longer, know that I was wrong for thinking that you always had a place in my. Is this what I had in mind?
25 million missed calls, my hands are shaking with drugs.
Guess that I found my pit. God, I hope you take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have even stood a chance when your foot was on my dash. No, it only made me crash. I know I shoulda. And be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would have.
We have something to show you guys.
Who are those?
That's awesome.
Freaking adorable.
between words I try to tie in a text and a call and a drive, and on top of it all, you were right, I was wrong, you were right. Maybe I'm tired, I've been putting on my knees. Should've cared around the sun, texted to call you.
Guys, I am wrapping up this vlog. It's been a long one. I have been watching back the live with Kelsey coloring and doing a little bit of coloring myself. I chose some pretty fall colors, just markers. I almost decided to do it on my iPad, and I was going to do it in like Procreate, and I kind of wish I would have because I was a little messy with the markers. But yeah, a lot of bleeding through. But I haven't colored in a long time, so it was fun. And I wanted to check in with you guys though, because it is super late. I'm trying to keep it down because everybody in my house is like sleeping right now. I had a little bit of FOMO because it was the first Halloweekend event, so that's why I'm watching it back. But it was a very long day. As you guys can see earlier, I got a tattoo today. It was actually my first tattoo ever. And I was so nervous. I'm always like so nervous and like shaky whenever I pretty much am out in public. So for like a new experience, I'm always excited, but I was like pretty shaky and like nervous because mainly I just don't know what to expect. But it was like not bad at all. I definitely was expecting a lot worse than what it was, but I really, really like it. Still very tender and sore, but you guys kind of seen it in the clips earlier. But yeah, I've wanted to get a tattoo for a really long time, and my dad is a tattoo artist, so it was just a very special thing for my dad to tattoo my babies on me. And I was also really excited that I could bring my camera and like film the whole process to share it and to always have that. It's very special. And what a way to wrap up my first Halloweekend. I did finish Dead Silence. This is the like haunted like ghost ship in space. And I'm gonna give it a 3. I was really confused reading this. I didn't really resonate with any characters. I'm just not really liking the characters, I guess, this weekend in books. But I think the issue that I really was having with this was it was so different than what I normally read. But I was actually like really intrigued in the aspects of it that are different. The space elements, the what they do for work and like all that kind of stuff. I just kind of felt like for these to be like people who are doing a job like this, that's like so important and like so dangerous and all of that. I just kind of felt like a lot of them were just super immature and not what I was expecting character wise. But I do like the aspect of it kind of being like a survival horror. And twists and turns we kind of got with it, I did appreciate as well for the most part. With that being said, I really liked the paranormal elements and really wanted more of that, I guess. I'm kind of going into a territory where it's like I don't want to spoil anything, but the direction that this went in, I wasn't really a fan of. I think throughout it, I just kept feeling, I wouldn't say bored, but borderline like it's going to lose my attention. It never lost my attention. It was, pretty fast paced for the most part. There was constantly something going on or something being described or, new scenery. And we also kind of bounce back and forth from like present to back, when they first discovered it. So there's a lot going on with it. It's super entertaining, but I think the issues that I was having was there was just something off still about it that I can't really pinpoint. And then whenever things shifted and turned at about the 75% mark, I was just kind of let down, like really let down. I think from there, I was at a 4 throughout the book, but then when like that area kind of hit in the book, it went down to a 3 real fast. I think it's a good book. I think a lot of people would really like it. If you're into like space sci-fi, I do think you would like it, although I don't really have like a lot of experience reading space books. But I really liked the horror elements and the like terrifying scenes. I think she did a good job writing, but I don't know. There was just something missing from me from most of the book, and I don't know if it's just because this was so different for me than what I typically read, but yeah. I don't know if any of this makes sense. I'm very tired, and I am ready to call it a night, but I hope you guys enjoyed my first Halloweekend vlog. I hope you enjoyed it if you participated. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in a video soon, and I'll be filming for the next Halloweekend very soon.
Maybe I'm tired. I've been putting on 90.